All right, hello, Professor Moore. This is Robert Wattis. I'll be doing my presentation on demonstration. Here's my audience. It's my audience. You don't cover your faces? No? Okay. All right. Let me just set this up. Okay. So thank you guys for participating in my presentation today. We're going to be covering the colorful personality. So our world is filled with many different people with multiple backgrounds, different races, different religions, different ethnicities, and each one of us is unique in our personality, our own personality, and our own identity. Now there's many different assessments out there that can help us gauge how our personality is created and helps us get a better understanding of our personality. The Hartman personality profile, developed by Taylor Hartman, is one of those unique tests that uses a color coding system that helps to identify what's the motivation behind the behavior that creates that personality. And being able to understand the behavior behind that personality helps us understand how we relate to other different people in our relationships with others. What I'll be discussing today is a little bit of history of Dr. Hartman, who designed the Hartman personality profile, and the color coding system. So, according to an article found on mindperk.com, the article titled "The Hartman Personality Profile," written by Dr. Taylor Hartman, he describes himself, who was previously a professor at the University of California. He's also a business coach that has been coaching businesses and helping businesses and counseling them for over 25 years. And he usually does that to help them understand their management, personality, and their profile, and how to work with management within the business. Now, his very first book, entitled The Color Code, he identifies and he analyzes different behaviors within different what creates personalities, and he identified them with a unique color, which is red, blue, white, and yellow, that distinguish what the behaviors are that create those personalities. He goes further to describe in his book how you can take an assessment to identify which color you are. This assessment is about 45 questions, and it's ranking different situations. It asks you different strengths, and it asks you to self-analyze. Now, you guys took this assessment before you came into this discussion. So you have already identified yourself with a unique color, right? Either red, yellow, blue, or white. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to go into the different descriptions of the colors. The color coding system, again, is described in the color code book. It was also summarized by Cobb K High School, which you can find on www.cobbk.org. And they put together a summary that outlines the behaviors, the strengths, the limitations, what to do, what not to do with each different color. So we go to the next section here. We're going to look at first is the color red. So red is someone who's motivated by power. Someone who is dynamic, direct, they're a natural leader. They tend to dominate the conversation, whether it's one person or in a group. If you identify yourself with red, you may find yourself uniquely attached to some of these behaviors. Next is blue. Blue is their motivation is intimacy. They want to find common ground with everyone, make sure that everyone is understood, make sure that their ideas are understood and expressed, as well as the ideas of either the person or the group that they're interacting with. Blue has a strong sense of themselves, and they're stable and dependable leaders as well. Next, we have the color white. White are motivated by peace. So someone that's white usually tends to be more of a listener. They may have valuable insight and they may have a lot of information, but they tend to let the other person speak themselves. Finally, we have yellow. So yellow are the motivation of fun. They're the eccentric ones. They have outside of the box thinking, and they bring the energy to the group. Sometimes yellows may be too way out of the box thinking, that they create a different dynamic within the group and could create conflict as well. These are the different scenarios or different behaviors at a summary level. Now, like I mentioned, there is an overall summary from Cobb K High School that I will pass out. It's a little bit more in detail, okay? That has the do's and don'ts. You know, how you can work with them as an individual, work with them as a coworker, and things like that. It helps you to better understand yourself. And it's good to understand yourself and how we interact with each other in different settings, whether it's your friends, your family, or your coworkers. One such example was given to us by a publication called Leadership Excellence. And this publication was given, it's volume 22, issue 2, again written by Dr. Hartman, where he put together an article called Brainstorming Business. Now when you brainstorm, you first have a problem that you have to throw ideas out to try to solve it. After you throw ideas out, you try to figure out what the prioritization of those ideas are and have discussions in a brainstorming session, right? Someone who's read in that discussion will, again, dominate the discussion, be the one who talks the most, provides a majority of the ideas. Someone who's blue will tend to make sure that everyone understands the ground rules of the session, what the end goal is going to be, and want to have discussion on every single topic. Someone that's white will more than likely wait until they're asked upon to provide their information. They may have great ideas, but they'll wait. And someone who's yellow may have so much outside of the box thinking that the only solutions that they're providing make sense only to that person and not everybody else. So it's good to know how each person, how your personality is, right, and what color you are. And it's also good to know how the personalities of everybody in the group are, so that you can work together and find common ground. Now, this assessment is a great tool to be able to assess yourself and assess others. Our personalities are defined by our current state of mind and the behaviors that drive those personalities. Understanding our personality will help us ourselves take us to our own greatest potential. So I'll leave you with this. It's one final quote by John Gary, who is the writer of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, who wrote this quote after reading the Color Code book. The enlightening analysis of personality types can assist you in improving all of your relationships, including your relationship with yourself. So again, thank you very much for listening to my presentation on colorful personalities and everything having to do with it. I appreciate your time.